Okay, great. Thank you for joining us on the rent to own home program. We're going to explain this program today. So, if you have any questions, you can definitely tune into this because it will clarify and help you to move forward in your process of buying a home. All right, so a couple of things here. Who we are. So we're a real estate investing company. What we do is we buy, we sell, and we rent. We also offer owner financing. Our service areas are Cobb County, Henry County, Douglas County, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Fulton, Clayton. And on a case-by-case basis, we can actually deviate from that. So if you don't live in one of these counties, or if you don't want to buy a home in one of these counties, that's okay. We're going to tell you how you'll be able to submit to us properties in the future that we may be able to help you out with. If you want more information on our company, you can go to www.rgicompanies.com. Now, what is rent to own? So rent to own is to lease a home with the option to purchase by a specified date. So the way how it works is it consists of two different documents. You have a regular lease, and then you also have an option, which is where you pay an option consideration fee, which is non-refundable, and it goes towards the purchase of your home. And the typical time frame that it gives you is about 24 months. Could be different, just depends on a case-by-case basis on the property. It's also known as rent to buy, lease purchase, rent with the option to buy, and it's a form of owner financing. So these are things that you could research, but these are different names that it goes by. Now here are the requirements. A lot of people ask, well, how do I qualify? Well, how does this work? Let me get the info. Here's the info. It's very simple. It's really no credit qualifying. We don't look at a particular credit score. That's not the overall goal here. We're not qualifying you like a bank, so it's no bank qualifying. And the main thing is that you have proof of income. We like to see 4 times rent, and that's what we typically look for. If you don't have that, but you have at least 3, then we can qualify you on a case-by-case basis. But it doesn't mean that you can't qualify if you don't earn 4 times the rent. So to give you an example, if you're renting for $4,000, well, if you're renting for $1,000, then we'd like to see $4,000 gross income. So again, if you're wanting to rent for $1,000, we'd like to see a gross household income of $4,000. Now, typically, most people say, well, what do I need down as far as a down payment? This is typically 5% off the purchase price. So in this situation, if the property is $100,000, then you will need right around $5,000. Now, here's how you qualify. A couple of things we look for. So we also look for someone that's serious about owning a home. So we need proof that you're on some type of credit repair plan. So if you say, hey, I'm already working on my credit, excellent, provide us proof. We can help you if you provide proof. If you don't provide proof and you're just working on it, just like anything else, if you need legal help, you don't go around reading the Black's Law Dictionary. You go to an attorney. The same with credit is like that. There are many laws that govern that, and you want an expert to review that with you. Okay, so for those of you that say, hey, I'm working on my credit, excellent. That's a good thing. We need proof. Can't take your word for it. Another thing here, a lot of people like to ask, well, do you accept people that have done a bankruptcy or foreclosure in the past? Yes, on a case-by-case basis. It depends on what form of bankruptcy that you're in. As you know, you have Chapter 7, Chapter 13. So it depends. We need to be able to really highly rely on your income here because we're not qualifying like a bank would. But we also want to know that you have, positive progress happening on a monthly basis. So that's where we need the proof of the credit repair plan. All right, another thing too, now if you in an income situation where it's a contract job or self-employment, then please do reach out to us, and we're happy to go over that. You can go to the Atlanta Rent-to-Own page on Facebook and ask us questions there if you just have simple questions. Okay, so a couple things here. We're going to go over the benefits of rent to own. Why should you rent to own versus just renting? All right, here's why. There are no taxes to pay on the property. So, you know, you actually pay less. The owners typically have to pay a mortgage, they pay the taxes, and they pay a couple other things. But let's go line by line here. So you're also getting control of the home, all right? Minimized maintenance, because you're renting with an option to own. If it's something like that's a major maintenance issue, then you don't have to cover that. So just keep that in mind. Also, potential equity growth. The market's growing right now. So if you enter into a rent-to-own situation and you have 24 months, the market's steadily increasing. So, you know, chances are, if you're in a particular neighborhood or depending on your neighborhood, the growth rate might be that in 24 months, when you go to purchase a home, you might be walking into an equity position. Might not be huge, but if you're walking into an equity position, it's positive versus, you know, it reducing in value. Also, the rent benefits of the rent to own is flexible. It offers flexibility in qualifying. So the program is no bank qualifying. We do look for particular things, but the main thing is three things that we look for is serious about owning a home, have the down payment, and you could prove your income, meaning you have the ability to pay the monthly expenses every month. All right, so let's go through this. There's no taxes to pay. So there are no property taxes that you need to be paid up front. When you do a closing, you have to pay this up front, or it's prorated based on the tax year. So you have time to prepare to learn about the cost of the home before you take full responsibility of the taxes. So that's actually a benefit. Okay. Now, also minimize maintenance, like I mentioned. The typical large maintenance problems that exceed a certain amount, the owner or the seller would take care of those. So, you know, if there's a light bulb, you take care of that. If there's minor other things, plumbing, you take care of that. But if it ends up being a significant dollar amount, you don't take care of it. That's the responsibility of the owner. Now, we already covered this, potential equity growth. The option agreement to purchase gives you the right to purchase the home for a specified price point. So an option would read something like this. For consideration of $5,000, you have the right to purchase that house for $100,000 within 24 months. So that's how it works. So if you don't qualify, if you don't have that action plan on your credit during that 24 months and you don't purchase, then you do lose that potential for equity growth, and you lose that option fee because you're paying for that right to be able to purchase it for a set price. Now, in this situation, if the market increases, you'll be able to purchase at a discount of what the retail price is. So if it goes up to $107,000, you're walking into $7,000 in equity. Okay. Flexibility in qualifying. The seller sets the terms of the transactions, which means that there's more flexibility with us looking at your credit, your employment history, versus just bank qualifying, where it's a set of guidelines. If you don't meet those guidelines, you're denied. So we're able to offer, you know, more flexibility. When we look at it, we do common sense underwriting to make sure you can afford the monthly payment, that it's not going to be overwhelming for you. As long as you have the ability to purchase the home, and you can make the rent payments every month, then that's the main thing that we look for. Now, another thing is you get control of the home. So this doesn't mean that you can do an addition on the home. This doesn't mean that you could do major modifications to the home. What this means is you have full control of the home while you're paying rent, and you get to learn the ins and the outs of the home. So you get to find out things like, what's the light bill? What's going to be your monthly expenses? What does it cost to cut the lawn? You know, overall, You can get quotes on different things like that you could do to the home in the future. So you get full control to where you could start planning this up to 24 months ahead. So you have an idea of what should be changed inside the home and what are the home improvements you want to actually do before purchasing it or owning it, okay? Now, a lot of people say, well, how do I get started? It's very simple. Now, keep something in mind here. If you don't have the down payment ready, which is for the 5%, if you can't show that you have the 4 times the monthly rent, and if you're not serious about owning a home, this is not ideal for you. However, if you meet all those 3 things and you're ready to get started, then here's how you do that, okay? You go to ownerfinancepath.com, you complete the buyer questionnaire, and from there, you can reach out to us via our Facebook page, or you can email us at homes@ownerfinancepath.com. Okay, so a couple of things here. We are trying to, our goal is to help as many people as possible. But if you submit the form and you know you don't meet those requirements, then just keep in mind that we're going to be wasting your time and we can't help you. But we're happy to give you advice on what to do. Go ahead and ask questions throughout the group on Facebook, and we'll get all those answered for you. And then once you're able to go, able to purchase a home, you might notice how good it feels to when you on the path to home ownership. It's a good feeling. You're able to, walk into tax benefits once you do purchase. So it actually increases the take-home pay that you have. So there's a lot of other benefits that I didn't go over, but essentially you get to build equity and you get to start building for your family. But don't stop there, keep going. All right, so again, just wanted to go over this process. This is about our owner finance, well, not our owner finance, or rent to own program. This is how it works. I'll do another video on owner financing, and I'll do another video on the $1,500 down, which is to own a home directly through the bank. All right, thanks for coming in, guys, and paying attention to this webinar. If you have any questions, we'll talk soon.